So yeah, I will be sharing screen in some time. But first of all, I'm very thankful to Southern Kota for giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you, all these students here, and I'm very glad that many of you are aspiring to get into these top institutes like JEE by writing JEE and NEET. You all want to get into IITs and the various medical colleges in India. So it's a very nice ambition which many of you must be carrying. And I would like to applaud even the parents who are encouraging their children for their wonderful goals and ambitions in life. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here today, and I'm very happy that Southern Kota is taking a lot of steps, endeavoring in this direction to help a lot of students with their quota-based coaching, and also they want to simultaneously assist the students through personal interactions by the mentors and help them in their not just in their academics but also in their value education and their day-to-day life, how they can actually have good habits and transform their lives for a success-winning personality. So I would like to congratulate Southern Kota as well for their wonderful, sincere endeavors in this direction. So thank you so much uh, for me being here. So today, okay, let's begin with today's session. Now it is 5:15. I would expect that this session will be for about maybe 1 hour, 10 minutes or so, and then we can 1 hour 10 to 15 minutes, and then we can probably take up a few question answers. Okay. So and tomorrow we'll be continuing the day two of this workshop. This is a very very important workshop what we are organizing today, which is time management. Actually, many students are unaware of what is time management itself. When I was maybe around your age, so maybe around when I was in ninth, 10th, 8th, ninth, 10th, and I was going for foundation classes and all that. So I did not know. I used to hear this word called time management, but quite often I didn't have any idea as to what is this time management. Is it people say that one who is very well managed in his time, he can achieve a lot of goals and all that. I thought it doesn't matter. All that I need is just good intelligence. I was smart, and maybe if I work hard, that is sufficient. What is this time management and all that? But then later on, after I realized, I got into IIT. So I didn't perform that well initially in my JEE Advanced. So therefore, I got a branch called biotechnology. But later on, after getting into IIT, I learned many of these practical aspects of how we can live in our life. And time management is one very, very essential aspect for us to achieve anything in life. In fact, if you look at all these great people, many big CEOs, many if you take Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, and others, so many Indians you see, and on top of big companies, and you will see that they are very well planned, organized, and they spend their time effectively. That means whatever time they have, they make the most of it. So that is why they've been able to achieve great heights in their life. So today we'll be discussing on this topic of time management and how it is relevant for us as students in this particular time when we are very crucial. Now 2 years, maybe many of you may be in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, maybe around that age group. So maybe you have 2 years or 3 years or even 1 year left for your major competitive exams, which will be a turning point in your life. So it's a very, very important and essential aspect, given that unfortunately we are having a situation like this lockdown where most of us, especially Tamil Nadu and Chennai, we see that there's a lot of crisis here. So it is all the more important for us to utilize our time very effectively. We have 24 hours in a day, and how much are we using it very well for our goals, to achieve our goals? Many a times we begin with the thought that, oh, there's a lot of time. Maybe there's 2 years time now, or maybe there's 1 year time. That's a lot of time to prepare. But then within a few, without even you realizing what will happen is at the end of that amount of time, you don't even have enough time to prepare. Okay. Yeah, was I audible until now? Can the host?
Yes,
Uh,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Okay.
Please
It
proceed.
got muted for a moment, I think. So okay, that's all right. Yeah, sure. So okay. So now let's begin. So here we have about maybe 10 to 15 participants will come, and we are expecting more to join us soon. And we'll begin with today's session. One thing which I want you to do is, because I'm not interacting with you live, so it is very difficult for me to see your faces. I'm just seeing a screen, and I'm just looking towards the camera. So what I would encourage you all to do is to be active with your chat boxes. And I would encourage you all to mute your mics. So our interaction essentially will be through the chat boxes, and it will be interactive as well. Okay, so I want you all to, if you all understood this protocol, then you can all type in your chat box. Yes, yes, you can please type, and you can send it. Okay, yes, yes, sir. Yeah, Siddharth is saying Naveen. Yes, okay. Yeah, great, great. Okay, so you're all able to hear, and you understood, and so okay, let's begin now. Okay, I will start sharing my screen, which is a PPT on this time management. So okay. So is everybody able to see this? The PPT is up. Are you able to see it? Yes. Okay, great. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So today we are having the day one of the workshop. I just very briefly tell you about my background and how I've been helping a lot of students across the country. So just a very brief, maybe 1 minute background. I'll just tell you. Okay. So this is about our NGO called Arjuna Group. So what we do is we actually interact with a lot of students, and it's been found by a group of IITians so that we can help the student community pursue their dreams, various coaching. You may have many ambitions to crack a lot of big exams and become successful people in your life. So we all want to assist you. So that is what this Arjuna Group is, and we have integrated with Southern Kota to offer our services to the students of Southern Kota. And there's an NGO, there's a non-profit organization which was started in IIT about 2011. Okay, so yes, so this is our motto: to spread the culture of excellence and ethics. So culture of excellence means that we want to achieve our goals, and simultaneously we need ethics. Ethics means we want to be mentally very strong, so that our goals don't we don't end up succumbing to um, we may reach the top, we may become a big CEO of a big company, but to remain a CEO for a long time, to do something which can transform the world, it requires something more, and that is what ethics is. For example, if you take there were many big men, big doctors, big professionals, big IITians who got to top positions, but because of certain lack of ethics, they ended up getting into some scandals and and all that. So both are important. Excellence and ethics. It's not merely excellence or skills or talents. It is also your morals and your ethics what you carry. Okay? So yes, very good. So now, yeah, these are few services we do. We teach wisdom education. There's career counseling. We mentor students, and we have a lot of wisdom literatures. For example, our Art of Concentration book, and Time Management book, and recently there's Career Choice, a new book which is coming up. So all these help students to make the right choices in life, and to also help them in their career in various ways. Okay, so that's it. And I just want to introduce you all to our founder CEO. He's Amal M. Das. He's the author of many of these books, and he has his website called amalemdas.com. So you can all visit that and find out a little about him as well. And you can, in fact, purchase our books, etc., on the website. So that's it. Okay. So now let's proceed to our topic of the day, which is time management. So I'll give you an overview of what we will be covering today. Okay. So the first thing we'll be covering is essentially we have four aspects or four different parts of this today, day one of today's time management seminar. So the first thing is called why time management. That means what is the need for us to manage time, or first of all we'll understand what is time management at all. Okay, so and why is it needed for us as students in this particular time period, corona lockdown, there's a lot of time, we're not going out, we're not doing anything else. So how can we, why is it needed actually? So that is the first thing. Then second thing what we'll be discussing about is that our vision towards time management, that how do we see time management as. So we should see time management as an investment. So I'll be discussing on that, that what is an investment and how we can see time management as an investment. Okay. And the third thing will be time management defined. That means we'll be defining the different steps of time management. There are essentially three steps. We'll be seeing that. And then finally, there are other practical steps for time management which we should take so that we can be effective. So all these different aspects I'll be covering today. So let's begin with the first thing. So why time management? Okay. So yeah. So yes. So the first thing is that, okay, I'll just explain what is time management very briefly. Further, when we go to the next step of defining time management, so there I'll be discussing about in more detail what is time management. Okay, so time management essentially, see, I will. So we have to see that, see, time is basically one of the most important resources that we receive right from the time we are born. In our life, if you look at the two most important resources, many people say that, okay, if we have money, we can do everything in life. And money is a very important resource. Or some people say that strength or energy or intellect is an important resource. So all these various resources which we come with. Uh, yeah, I see some text being written on this screen. Yeah, whoever that's doing it, you can kindly yeah, remove those. Okay. So yeah. So so as I was saying that, so time is a resource, just like how we have money, energy, and various things, intelligence, and all that. So we should see time as a resource. And what is a resource? A resource is something, if we utilize it well, it can lead to a bigger result in the future. Like say, for example, we have a resource like, you may have iron ore. Iron ore is a resource, or say silicon ore. It's a resource. So when you use the silicon ore effectively, what happens? You can actually manufacture a microchip, or you can manufacture a processor, which is worth few lakhs of rupees or few thousands of rupees. So essentially, the ore in itself does not have any value, but by investing it or by utilizing that resource, what happens is we can achieve something great in our life. So time is also a resource that we have, and we have to utilize it and it's a limited resource. Mind you that time is a limited resource. It is not an unlimited resource. From the time, if you look at a bigger span of time, we have the birth and we have the death, and we have time in between that. It's maybe say 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, whatever we have. Time is limited. Or if you say preparation for your exam, you have starting from today till the competitive exam time. So the day on which you're having a competitive exam. So it's a limited resource. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to make. So we have big goals and but we have limited resource. So when we have a limited resource, we should be utilizing it very judiciously. We have big goals. We want to achieve something great in life before our resource gets over. At the end of say your 2 years or 3 years, whenever you're writing a competitive exam, at the end of that, your resource will be over, and you shouldn't be regretting that, oh, I have lost all my time, but I couldn't do anything in life. So that is why. So we have big goals and limited time, limited resource. So we want to utilize it to the best capacity. So that is what is time management. Okay. So then the other thing is balancing different aspects of life. So we have different things. Say, for example, as students, right now we may have our homeworks. Say we may have daily practice problems, what we have to do, or we may have some assignments or some tests coming up. So we have to study for that. So there are different subjects. We have to balance. There's physics, there's chemistry, there's maths. So we have to balance how much time to give for physics, how much time to give for chemistry, how much time to give for maths, and which is my weak area, which is my strong area. So we have to manage the time in a way that we allot it in a significant way so that we can balance. It should not be that I get very less in chemistry and I get very good marks in physics. But if I fail the chemistry cutoff, then I'll not even qualify to the JEE Advanced, from JEE Mains to JEE Advanced. So we should know how to balance, and not just in the subjects but also in life. Now we have studies as one aspect of life. Then we have recreation. Say we have to have play some games, or we have to do. We have to. We may want to take a break. So how do we balance all these different things? Or we may want to spend time with our friends, with our relatives. Correct. So all these different things. There are different aspects of life which have to be balanced. When there's a balance, then we can be happy actually. Okay. So that's the second thing. Then third is to avoid wastage of time. As I told, when we manage a resource well, we can avoid wastage. Very simple. So we don't want to utilize it in something which is not fruitful in our life. Okay? Then third is to bring out the best of our talents. So we may have a lot of talent, we may have a lot of intelligence, but if we don't use our time properly, say I may be very good at doing physics, chemistry, maths, or bio. If I'm preparing for medical, I may have very good understanding of all these. But then if I don't utilize my time properly in a way that I can study. If I don't study, I keep playing all day, or I keep using Facebook, Instagram, or all these different social media. So then what happens is we cannot bring out the best of the talents which we have. Okay? So yeah, and to give up postponing mentality. Many of us, what we do is we end up doing a lot of postponing. That means we may have a test coming up, say in 2 weeks' time, and we think, okay, I should prepare now. All these things are this much portion is there. 2 weeks' time is there, so let me. Today I will prepare first 7 pages. Tomorrow I will prepare next 7 pages, or this chapter, the next chapter. But then what happens? We don't actually stick to that schedule. Correct? What do? We start postponing. Maybe today we'll do only 2 pages, and then we are playing games, or we are watching a movie, or watching cricket, or something like that. And then what happens? Then we postpone it. It goes to the next day. And then by the end, initially we think, okay, I should prepare pages, but by the end, by postponing, what happens at the end of in the last 3 days, if you don't finish enough, then it becomes 30 pages, or say three chapters, or something like that. So it becomes a load, it becomes a burden. So but if we manage our time efficiently, that if we use the time properly at that particular given time, then we can save a lot of hard work in the end, and also we can meet deadlines in time, and all these things. Okay, so some assignment submission we have to do, or anything like that. So we'll be able to give it in time, we'll be able to maximize our marks and do it in the best way possible. Okay. So next is yeah, and finally I said to ultimately succeed in life, I told that the key to success is being planned, organized, and being consistent. Consistency. This is what we see in the lives of anybody who has become successful. Not just success, not just there are two kinds of successful people. One person can be called as a shooting star. A shooting star. Like sometimes you may see shooting stars in the sky. So what happens is it just glitters for some time, and then after that it is gone. So, but there is also a pole star. Pole star means something which stays in the sky always. If you look into the north, near the moon, you will see a star which is always glowing. So, success should be like a pole star. That means you should remain successful for a lot of time in your life. It should not be a shooting star. You should not end up making it to the top and then falling down. So, for that, if you have to become a pole star, then you have to be organized, planned, and consistent. That is the key. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so now we are coming to this second aspect, that what time management as an investment. Yeah, so right now I'm just building up the flow. So all of you, yeah, all of you are until now the first section. Could you understand? If you could understand, and if you liked it, then you can say yes, yes, I liked. You can type it in the chat box. You could understand why there is a need for time management. Okay, great. So Naveen is saying yes. That yes, okay. Dhruv, yes, okay, great. So yeah, so why? So we discussed why we need time management. Okay, now we are seeing that how do we look at time management. So further as we keep progressing, it will get interesting. It will get more relatable to us. Okay, I'm just building up the vision for you and how we should work on this. What is time management? I'm building up the background right now. Okay, so the second aspect is time management you should see it as an investment. Okay, so now, okay, what is time management? Now, see, now in a day, when you begin your day, you're going to be having, say, compare time to money. Okay, so the first thing what I said is time is actually a money. You can compare time to money. In fact, it is much, much more valuable than money. Money is nothing. Money is something which is insignificant, uh, which can do certain things in our life, but most important resource which we have is time. And we should consider it as a gift of God. So God has given us many gifts in our life, and time is one of the most essential gift. So when we have something so precious as a gift, we want to utilize it in the right way. So we can compare it to money, just so that we develop the right vision of what does it mean to be an investment. Okay, so yes, uh, yeah. So what is an investment? Investment leads to rewards. Say suppose now you have, say, about 100 rupees. Okay, so 100 rupees if you have, now usually in our, if you look at the financial setup of the whole country, there is something called, there are banks, there are markets, there are stocks, there are different things, correct? So when you invest, if you have 100 rupees, there are two kinds of stocks essentially. So one stock is called a booming stock, and one stock is called a depreciating stock. Okay, that means, basically, booming stock means that which increases its value in time. In time, it keeps increasing its value, and the other stock, it keeps decreasing its value because of various reasons. So now, when you have money, say 100 rupees, and you have various options, that, say, there is Facebook stock, or there is Apple stock, or there is some Tata Motors stock. So there are different stocks. These are different companies which have their shares. So now, when you want to get rewards in the future, now if you invest, say, the value of the Facebook stock right now, say, is 100 rupees. One share, if you want to purchase, is 100 rupees. So now you invest in it. What happens at the end of 1 year? The value of Facebook, more and more people join Facebook, more and more profits come for Facebook. So what happens? The Facebook's value increases. So then it goes to, say, the Facebook value increases to, say, per share it increases to, say, 115 rupees in a year. So you've invested 100 rupees, but at the end of 1 year, what do you get back? You get back 115 rupees. Okay. So in the same way, hmm, now time is also similar. Time right now, whatever second, what you're getting, whatever time, the next few years or few months or few weeks, few days, few minutes. So yeah, I request all of you to kindly mute your mics.
Yes,
Please mute your mics. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yes. So yeah. So as I said, that time is an investment. Now, yeah. So if you invest this whatever few minutes in this day you have, say tomorrow you have an exam. If you invest it to study, now you have 12 hours in the day. Morning it's 8 o'clock, and then by night 8 o'clock you have to complete certain amount of portion. So now these 8 hours of time, if you invest it in studying for that subject, now that particular activity can be compared to that particular company. Which activity you want? Now there are various activities. Say you want to play games, video games, or surf on Facebook. That you can compare that to be like one company, and say some company which has depreciating value. What happens in if you invest in a company which goes down is, initially you invest 100 rupees, but they go in losses, and at the end of 1 year, what happens? It decreases to 50 rupees, or maybe they may even go bankrupt. We don't know. So, but we don't want that to happen with our time, correct? So what we have to do is, we have to be very conscious of our time, and we have to see that where am I investing it. It is an investment. That means when I invest it, it leads to rewards. I have certain amount of time. Now each, like I have 8 hours. Now each hour, how I invest it somewhere is very important. If I invest it in the right activity, if I invest it in the right kind of thing which gives me maximum rewards in the future, then I will end up being successful in the future. Okay, so this is the concept. See time management as an investment, and so therefore we should be very careful. Now, if you are given 100 rupees, or say if you're given 1,000 rupees, or say 50,000 rupees, or something like that. Now, how carefully you will utilize it. If you're greedy for becoming a millionaire, then you'll be very careful how to invest each single rupee of that 50,000 rupees what you're given. Huh? So in the same way, if you're greedy, if you're really determined that you want to be successful in life, you want to crack your goals, you want to complete your portions and do excel in your studies, so then you have to actually see it as an investment and utilize every moment of time in the most careful way, seeing where I can invest it, in which activity should I put it to studies, should I put it to watch TV, should I put it to do something else, just talking to friends, or where should I invest it, which company should I invest it in, so like that. So see time management as an investment. Okay, so yeah. Uh, okay sure. So yes, so did you all understand this, how to see time management as an investment? You got it? You can type yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, great. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll try to make it more interactive from my side. But I'll see, because it takes time for you to type down your messages also. So I can't very easily talk to you, and it takes time. So it takes a lot of time in between if you have to type some long answers. So that's why I'm keeping the interaction to a little yes, no, or if you have some, I expect you to give some ideas, then you can give those ideas. Okay? So yeah, so see time management as an investment. Okay, so yeah, so this is what we've covered. So now we'll see what is, let us define time management. Okay, so there are essentially three steps in time management. So yeah, so three steps in time management. So the first step is called planning. So you can consider it like a PPI, three Hmm. A simple acronym, you can say it's a PPI: planning, prioritizing, and investing. Okay, so first of all we have to plan. So what is planning? So planning means that before the day begins, I make a list of all the activities. Say for example, now I'm going to start my day. I've woken up, I've taken bath, and I'm ready. Right now it's 7 o'clock or 7:30 in the morning, or 7, say 7 o'clock. So then now planning means, first of all, I think now I have this much amount of time today, from morning 7 to night 7. I have so much time. I have about 12 hours of time. So then how do I, what all activities should I do? Suppose say I'm having some exam coming up. So first thing is I have to write down my preparation for exam. Then I have to take my lunch. I have to maybe take down notes from a friend, or I may have to revise certain things. So different activities, all different activities, not just related to studies, but other things also. We may want to take a break, or we may want to go and purchase something for ourselves. So all these are different activities. So planning means, first is we list them down. One, two, three. We type exactly. I mean, we list them down in a small notebook or a notepad or a small diary we keep, so that we can make a to-do list, that I have to do this activities today, in this much time. So we list it down. I'll explain further. When we go further, I'll explain in detail what is planning, prioritizing, and investing. I'm just giving you an overview. Okay. So the second thing is prioritizing. So prioritizing means that we should rank them according to priority order. So what is priority order? It is basically, now there are various activities that we want to do today. Now we have to see which of these activities is most important for us. That means it will give me maximum returns and maximum rewards in the future. Like I told, no, now say there is a Facebook stock, which at the end of 1 year it will give you 150 rupees. If you invest 100, it will give you 150 rupees. And there is a Apple stock. So if you invest 100 rupees, it will give you, say, 112 rupees, or 115 rupees, or something like that. Or say you have some other stock which is unknown company. So if you invest in that, what you get is, temporarily you may feel that okay, it may increase, it may give me something, but then later on what happens is you end up getting, say, maybe 30 rupees or something. You get a loss at the end of it. So prioritizing means that you have this much amount of money, say 100 rupees, and where you want to give maximum. I will ensure that I give my maximum time to that which gives me maximum reward. So whatever gives you maximum. If you have to, right now you're having a exam, maybe in 2 days you're having a weekly test which is coming up. So now if you spend your time, say out of the 10 hours, if you spend say around 4 hours or 5 hours in preparing for that exam, and you have another task, say you have to complete an assignment which has to be submitted at a later point. So then or you may want to watch TV or different activities you may have. So now, if you prioritize means you want to rank them, which is most important. Right now, what is most important is studying for the exam, which is 2 days away. Then most important, that will give me maximum rewards right now. Then most important is maybe to complete the assignment. Then maybe I can take a break. I can go out, play with friends, or do something like that. Okay. So yeah, and then finally we have to invest. That means we have to perform the task. Now, after we have planned our time, we have prioritized. Now we have to invest it. That means we have to do that activity, whatever we have planned. First thing that we should do is we should give priority to the most important task. So, which is to study right now for the upcoming exam, which is going to come tomorrow. I have to do that first in the day, not that I do it at the end of the day. I have to study. I know I have to study because day after tomorrow there's an exam, but then what we tend to do, we keep postponing, and at the end of the day we study, and finally we plan to study for 4 hours. We may end up studying only for 2 hours or maximum 3 hours or less than that. So investing means to invest it in the high priority task first, whatever is ranked first. So I'll give you an example as we proceed further. I will give you an example. Okay, so yeah, so I'll just explain this small concept. Okay, I'll just as we proceed further, I'll give you example when I explain each of those aspects. Okay. So now the third thing is yeah. So now I just want to give an example of this through a small activity which we can do actually. So there's an image here which actually talks about a ball game. So about how there were two teams. Team A and Team B, and they were actually given 10 seconds. They were given a timer, 10 seconds. So now they had to, and there was a basket of so many balls, as you can see in the image. There are many balls with various numbers. Okay, so different numbers. Now the goal of the both the teams was to actually maximize the sum of, they should pick up balls in the 10 seconds in a way that the sum of the total on each ball should become maximum, and whoever gets the maximum becomes the winner. Okay, so that is the goal. So now team A and team B were there. So team A, what they did was they tried to, they thought that they used one strategy A. So they thought if we pick up maximum balls, as many as possible, then we'll end up getting the maximum score. That was their strategy. 10 seconds time, we'll use all our hands. Four of us are there. Let us use all our hands and just keep picking as many as many balls as possible so that we'll be able to maximize score at the end of the day, at the end of those 10 seconds. And there was team B, which used a different strategy. The strategy which team B used was that I have to let us search for the higher number balls. Even though it may take some time for me, no problem. It may waste some time, but let me search for the balls with the higher number and then pick up those balls. So that is what that was Team B's strategy. So then what happened? Team A and Team B, both of them competed, and the 10 seconds got over. So at the end of 10 seconds, what happened? Team A got those numbered balls. You can see in the image 17, 29, 8, 11, 31. So those numbers. So that is totaling up to how much? 46, 54, 65, 96. Okay. So that is the total for Team A. And Team B, they picked up only three balls and they picked up 75, 67, and 82. You can see, and that is totaling up to about say 1, 224 or something like that. So you can see that who became the winner ultimately. Can you type who became the winner? It was Team B, right? Correct. So they made a, so from this we can actually learn a very important lesson in time management. So whenever we have time, so whenever we have a particular amount of time, say 1 week for an exam, or say 1 day for today, if I'm planning my time. So what is important is, it is not important to um, pick up to do maximum number of tasks. Sometimes we think that if I'm just busy, if I keep myself busy and if I keep doing maximum number of tasks, then I can be successful at the end of the day. No, it's not like that. Quite often, we just have to do minimum tasks, but the right tasks. That means if we do the important tasks, most important tasks, see, sometimes some people think, like I'll give you an example. That yeah, I was thinking that initially I used to think that okay, maybe I should solve this book, this book. I used to have some 4 or 5 books for chemistry, organic chemistry. So then I was thinking I should do uh, all the questions from. I should do some questions from this book, some questions from this book, some questions from this book. So I was just doing so many different types of questions from all different books pertaining to some few topics, and I never completed any of those books. I ended up just doing, not covering the whole syllabus, but solving many questions from different books. On the other hand, my friend, what he did, he just took one book, very sincerely, he completed end to end, he got full knowledge about that, and he ended up getting good marks. So in the same way, even our time, whatever we have, it is not about if I make a long list of activities and if I do so many activities in the day, it doesn't mean that we have won the game of managing time. No, it's not like that. It's even if you do one activity, or 3 or 4 important activities in a day, that can lead to a maximum value. At the end of the day, you'll be able to reap maximum rewards, like you can see here. If you do that, if you do one book and if you complete the whole syllabus fully, then what you're going to get is, you'll be able to attempt the all the different sections of the question paper pertaining to all different topics, rather than solving different books and all that. So it's like that. Okay. So yeah, this is just a small example which I gave. Okay, so now I'll come to practical steps for time management. So yes, so first thing, so in this there are 5 sections which I want to discuss. Okay, so uh, first is called goal setting, then planning, then prioritization. Then I'll show you a practical example so that you can apply this in your life. I want each of you to spend your time applying these things in your life, and I want to see that each one of you can get benefited by applying these. I could see a great change, but it takes some amount of effort. It takes some amount of practice. It has to become a habit for us, and we have to change our vision and attitudes and various things. So then we'll be able to do it. Okay. So yeah. So all of you are clear until now. All of you could understand. We've covered 3 sections. First was why should we do time management. Second is uh, that what is the hmm, uh, we discussed time management is an investment, and third is we discussed that how what are the 3 broad steps of time management. Okay, planning, PPI, planning, prioritizing, and investing. Okay, so PPI. So the time management. So this is how we make our time management this thing goals. Okay, so all of you understood. Okay, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah,
um,
that's good. Yes.
Actually,
Okay.
Bas, um, just wanted to add one point. Can
Yeah,
you
yeah, sure,
just go back to the previous slide?
sure. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, students. I think this is just I know Akshay has really explained it well. But when you try to map it back to your studies, right? So don't think that, I mean, you will always pick up the questions which is giving more marks, like you just answer prepare for the exams for only the marks, only the questions which has more marks, like 5 marks or 10 marks, and skip all the questions which are like 1 mark or 2 marks, right? So that is not his intent. I think it is like we need to make sure we kind of put the max best possible efforts on some of these ones which fetch more value. I mean, that is
Yeah.
the intent here. So
Yeah.
just wanted to
Correct.
reiterate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct. So that's true actually. So yeah, from an exam perspective, it is slightly different. We have to basically weigh our time. See now, if there are easier questions which can fetch, so it's like in 5 minutes, if you can solve 5 questions of 2 marks, you can get 10. The value is 10 at the end of it. And they're easy and you're able to solve it, then it's you get 10 out of it. But then if you end up solving one 10 mark which is difficult, and at the end of 5 minutes you're not able to get the solution, then it's as good as you should basically be working in a way that you get the you should be able to complete the task. Actually, that is very important. It's not just that you're stuck with the task. You should invest in it, but also investment means that you bring out a result from that. Okay, so that's how it is. Yes, thank you, sir, for making it clear. Yeah, sure. Now,
Yeah, and there is one student is trying to annotate on the screen for a while. So I just wanted to let you know that, guys, this is just a time management session, and wasting time is also one of the core concepts here, right? So let's not looking at wasting our time. So if you're really bored with the session, please, you can always free to leave the session. Okay, let's not waste others' time.
okay. So now, yeah. Now, before I just begin with this, I'll make it a little more interactive after this section, because there'll be some practical things which we'll learn here, and after that we can take questions, and we can make it a little more interactive. Okay. So yeah. So every aspect that I'm discussing in this seminar actually is very important. So I request all of you to take note of everything. It's and try to understand it to the best capacity possible. So what I'm covering essentially in this time management is what I've read from various books, which are very all these books have all these concepts, and in tomorrow's session I will be discussing something more valuable. These are practical things. In tomorrow's session we'll be discussing about how we can change our attitudes. So at the end of today's session I'll explain that. Okay, so and every single thing whatever I'm discussing here, so please try to understand it well, and also try to think of how you can apply it in your day-to-day life. You can take it seriously, because only when I started taking these aspects seriously in my life, and I made efforts to apply many of these things in my life, only then did I actually see greater results. Because time is a precious resource. If we end up wasting it, then we will not will not have a successful ending actually. So that is what I would say based on my practical realizations and whatever time I've spent in the past. So now we're coming to practical steps. Okay, so this is where it is important for us. So yeah, try to follow it, and if you have questions you can definitely ask in the chat box even in between, no problem. I'll definitely address the questions even during the session if I feel that it's needed at that particular point of time. Okay, so feel
Yeah,
free to ask questions.
hand raise function available on the chat box. If people who have any doubts, you can raise your hand. And
Yeah, I think that is also good. If you can
yeah,
raise your hands, so that will be good. If you're having any questions, well, you can directly type it also into the chat box. That is also good. Okay. Yes. So now coming to practical aspects. So first thing is called goal setting. Okay. So goal setting. First step is goal setting, then planning, prioritization. Practical will be discussing. I'll show you that how I plan my day, and how you all also can plan your day. I will show you an example by typing down how to make a plan. Okay. So then finally we'll discuss about a few challenges. So this will be interactive in applying these steps. We'll discuss about these things. Okay. So now let's move further. Uh, okay. Yeah. So now coming to uh, goal setting. Okay. So yeah, yeah. Before all this, I just want to give you a few. I just want to make it a little more. I just want to give you an understanding of what is the value of time. So I'll explain. See, I'll give you some few examples, maybe two or three examples as to how if we don't efficiently manage our time, what happens. Okay, so I'll take my personal example that when I was in my 11th and 12th, when I was preparing for my coaching, so then what happened was I was actually in one of the top batches in my institute, and there was another student called Viral. My name is Akshay, and another student called Viral, and he was actually in the third batch. And so what happened is over the 2 years, there was a significant. I'll just show you the progress which both of us made because of uh, proper time management and lack of proper time management. Okay, So for me, as I spent the 2 years, I was actually simultaneously distracted. I was in a day scholar campus, and I had various distractions like playing games, talking to friends, and not just that. I used to play outdoor games also. Many times we play cricket or football or something, and it goes on for a lot of time. And so I used to not consciously think of my time. I used to end up overplaying or over gaming or over watching cricket or something like that, and my time used to keep going. I used to do well though in my exams. Initially, I was therefore in the first batch, and then slowly what happened, because I kept wasting time, not investing time properly. At the end of 2 years, my rank was 6,800 in JE actually. So JE Advanced, that was my rank, 6,800. On the other hand, this boy Viral, who was very sincere and conscious in investing his time right throughout his 2 years. He would keep 1 hour for play. I used to remember right after the classes at 3:34, we used to go out to play, and he used to also play with me. I used to end up playing till 4:30, 5:30, or something like that. But he used to just plan that I want to play for 1 hour. After that, I want to go do my studies. He used to take breaks in studies, and very nicely he used to plan and organize himself. And although he was in the third batch, who had in the admission stage he had got lesser marks, but what happened was at the end of the 2 years, he got a much better rank than me. He ended up getting a rank of 1,100 something. Okay, so that was the range. So that is a very good rank if you want to get into the um, top IITs, IIT Chennai, and all very good branches. You get mechanical and electrical and these branches. So so he did much better. The reason is because he managed his time very well. He didn't unconsciously waste his time. He used to plan it well. He used to be disciplined. He used to work out like that. So time is very important for us. The value of time is very precious. Once we lose it, we cannot get it back. They say time and tide waits for none. So how we utilize it is very important. See, even a second matters. If you look at the exam from an exam perspective, if you're writing an exam, if you have last 3 minutes left, if you don't manage your time well, say your previously it was OMR type of marking scheme. So then we may be solving the question and we may be marking in our OMR. Sometimes we may do just solve and tick in the question paper, and later on we may mark in the OMR. So if we don't manage our time, this much time for physics, chemistry, maths, this much time for marking, every minute counts actually. So one of my friend, he had actually marked everything. He solved the whole paper. He had marked everything in the question paper, but he didn't manage his time properly. What happened? In a hurry, while marking in the OMR, he had left one question and he started skipping. In the question paper, he left one question, but in the OMR sheet, he forgot to leave that question there. So what happened? He filled for the 11th question in the 10th question's place. And in a hurry, what happened? He became anxious. Two, three answers like that he marked wrongly at the end of during the exam, and then he became anxious. He lost out on that time. He wanted to correct it. He could not correct it. So each minute counts. And then later on, in 1 minute, he could have bubbled some 4, 5 answers. All that got wasted, and he ended up getting a lesser rank in that face test. Actually, he got a much lesser rank. So it can sometimes even change our ranks from by a few hundreds or few thousands if you're not careful about managing time. I'm saying time management is in every field, be it our exam, be it our 1 day, which is exam for 3 hours, be it 1 day for say 12 hours of active time that we have, or be it 1 week where we are preparing for something, solving some assignments, be it 1 month where we have important phase tests or some unit tests or something like that coming up, or be it 1 year where you have your board exams or exams. So every span of time is very important. How you manage in each of these. So that is what now we are coming to this goal setting. So okay, so yes, now so goal setting. So first thing is, before you begin your day or before you even start performing any activity, what is important for you is you need to have a clear goals in your mind. So goals. What is your goal? Now, if you're an aspirant for JE or medical, so your goal is that I want to get into this college or this rank I want. So now that is your goal. Now, if you have a particular goal very clear in mind, now you have to also simultaneously keep the intermediate goals. So that is what now I'll discuss. So yeah, first thing is, without a goal, there is no meaning to our activities. Now, we should understand this. Many times, many of us, even I was like this, that we are unconscious of our goals. That means we may think that, okay, I want to get into some good college, or I want to get a good rank or perform very well in this particular exam. Now I have an exam coming up in 1 month. So I want to get full out of full in this exam or something like that. We may have a goal in our mind, but then we are not conscious of it. We forget our goal, and what do? We don't remind ourselves of the goal, and we just end up wasting a lot of time in so many other activities. We just study without a fixed amount of, a fixed plan. We just keep studying. Say, I have 3 hours, and some people I know that some people, some students, what they do, they're good at investing their time. That means now they have, say, 5 hours remaining in the day. They will sincerely study for 3 hours, but they will study for 3 hours without a goal. They will not set targets that I want to complete this much, a goal of, for the 3 hours I'm setting a goal. I have to complete these many questions. I have to complete these many pages. So it's a goal. I have to finish one exercise. It's a goal which you're setting. So this goal setting, which is very, very crucial. Without a goal, if we are investing time, there is no meaning to our activities. Okay, so it is like, so our goal can be compared. I'll give you a simple analogy. Our goal can be compared to our destination. Say, suppose you're at your home, and from your home you want to go to, say, Chennai. In Chennai, say you want to go to a particular place. Say you have your exam center somewhere. Or your college. Say Southern Kota, you want to go to your college place. If you don't have that goal in your mind, that when you're about to start, I want to go there, then what will we end up doing is, we'll keep roaming around the city but never reaching our goal. We may take hundreds of routes across the city, and we may even find good malls, good cinema houses, good hotels and restaurants, and we may end up going here, there, getting distracted, but we'll never reach our goal. So the goal is very important. It's the destination. We need to have a very clear-cut idea as to what I want to do, what do I want to achieve. And now I'll be telling you, goal does not just mean that I want to get into IIT, or I want to get into NIT, or I want to get into some college, some good college, some medical college, aims I want to crack. It's not just that goal which I'm talking about. I'm also talking about other goals. So I'll explain to you now. So there are three types of goals. So first goal is called short-term goal. That means the goals which you set for a short period of time. Say in the next 1 hour, what am I going to do? You need to have a clear goal. I want this end result. It's called end result. You can remember this word, end result. If you don't have an aspiration for an end result, what happens is, we'll spend 1 hour doing that activity. We may spend 1 hour studying, putting our book in front of us, studying physics, but then we'll not achieve the end result of completing the exercise, or finishing those particular topics, whatever is coming for the exam. We may just have the book in front, but will not reach our goal. You're getting, no? So there's a short-term goal for next 1 hour, for next 3 hours. I set goal, or next one day, we set goals. So like that. So in this amount of time, I'll finish this much chapter. So like that. So different types of goals. So short-term goals. Then there is intermediate goals. Intermediate goals means for the next, say, a little longer period of time, next 1 month, or 2 months, or 6 months. That is intermediate. Or say even, it depends now how you want to see it. Now, if you have bigger goals in life, like the third goal is long-term goal. So if you have a bigger goal, you're not just looking at getting into some good college, but you're having a bigger ambition than that. You have a higher long-term goal, then your intermediate goal may become getting into IIT, or getting into some medical college. And after that, you may want to do higher, say, you may want to do a post graduation. You may want to do PhD. So there are different levels of goals. So we need to have goals all throughout our life. Start for every second, we should be keeping some goals. Actually, for every minute that we spend. So so our goal setting should be such that we have an end goal. Okay, at the top, we have an end goal, and to reach that goal, we should keep intermediate goals. So I will give you a simple analogy. Okay, so uh, say suppose you want to go to some place, as I told, destination. Now say you want to go to, say, Velachery in Chennai. You want to go to IIT campus there, just to visit the campus and see. So then from your house, from where you are, if you want to go to your destination, that is your long-term goal, like that is your final goal. But before that, you will also keep track of some landmarks, some milestones in between that I have to reach. Say I have to reach if I'm going from say some location, say Krumpet, or different places are there, say Tambaram. So now I have to pass through different stations. Now I have to go through. If I'm going from Tambaram to Gindi, so I have to come to the Gindi railway station. And then from Gindi railway station, I have to get down. I have to take a bus from here to this place. So there are intermediate goals. Each station you pass, you will know that I have passed some milestone. I have reached an intermediate goal. Next, I can go to the next goal, like that. So, so you're starting from Tambaram, then there is the next station. I think is in between. Many stations come. There is Mount, then the Meenambakam, and all that. So many stations come. So it is like each station is like an intermediate goal which we have. Okay, so like that. So whenever we have a long-term goal, we should be very careful to set also short-term and intermediate goals, and we should work towards them each time. So today you set a goal, you work towards it, like that. Okay. So all of you understood it. If you have understood, then you can put a yes in the chat box. If you have any other feedback, yeah, okay. So you have a question. Vasav Anujan has a question. You can please type it in the chat box. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I will explain. Yeah, very good question. He's saying that please let me know how you can improve once you have become inconsistent in your studies. That means he's saying that suppose I've become inconsistent. In my past, I have wasted time and I have ended up losing out on a lot of time. Now, how do I rectify? I have a lot of backlogs, I mean, pending work remaining. How do I rectify and how do I again become consistent? Is that something that is what you're asking? Is that correct? You can type yes if it is. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So very good. Another question from Siddharth. How many hours should we study in a day? So yeah, I'll come to that. So both of you have asked two questions. So I'll come to these two questions as soon as I finish now the practical aspect. Now I'm talking about goal setting. Next I'll talk about planning and prioritization, and then these two questions you'll be able to answer. Okay. So I'll be able to answer, and you'll understand this also better. Okay. So I'll just proceed further. I'll take both these questions after I finish the next two aspects. Okay. So yes. So yeah. So next is planning. So planning means it's very simple. Uh, yeah. So planning means that we make a conscious choice to utilize our time in an effective way. It's a conscious choice, not an unconscious choice. That means unconscious choice means what? We end up we wake up in the day, and after waking up, then suddenly we see we go have breakfast, and then suddenly some friend messages us something, and then we end up talking to the friend. Yeah, I've read your question. Rajesh is asking how to do smart work in studying. Yeah, exactly. I will answer all these questions. Very good questions, which you've yeah, given here. So I'll just complete this section and I'll answer these questions. Very good. Actually, it's all related to time management. All the smart work. Yeah, smart work is also related to time management. I'll answer. Okay. So yes. So yeah, I said unconscious. So unconscious means what? We wake up in the beginning of the day, and then suppose a friend messages, we end up texting, or I see something on TV, some news is coming, some corona, this thing, that thing. So then what I do, I end up sitting. 1 hour gets wasted. 1 hour goes away there, and after it becomes 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Then what happens? Then I decide that okay, I want to study, but we don't have a plan what to study. So then what happens? Unconsciously, time keeps getting wasted. Whatever I feel like doing now, I will do it. I live in the moment. Some people have a slogan saying, "Living in the moment." We should not live in the moment. We should live in the moment with a plan for the future. Okay, but if we just live in the moment, what happens is we will end up wasting that moment. So that is what happens. So conscious choice means that we look into the future. Now I have this much time. How do I utilize my future time in a positive way? Okay, that is what planning is. Okay? So that is what planning essentially means. Okay, so Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. We can take a few questions, maybe verbally also, not just in chat. We'll take a few questions verbally also. I'll do that. So if you're having questions, I'll open up for questions after a few sections, and then we'll take it verbally also. Okay, we'll do that. Yes. So okay. So now this is planning. So I told that planning means that we consciously utilize our time in an effective way. That means so yes. So there is a saying. This Whitney M. Young, she was actually a American reformer. So what she says is, it is better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So what it means is, in the future, if some opportunity is coming, so then be prepared for it. Then you will utilize that opportunity in the right way. But in the future, if an opportunity comes and if you're not prepared for it, what happens? You end up wasting it. So in the same way, time also is like that. Every moment is an opportunity. Okay. So we'll be getting opportunity if we prepare for it. That means if we plan for the rest of the day what I'm going to do, rest of the month what I'm going to do, rest of the year what I'm going to do. If you make a plan, then you will be able to utilize that time in a proper way. Okay, so that is why planning is extremely crucial. Okay, so yeah, yeah. Have you understood what is planning? You got an idea about what is planning? You can please type yes in the chat box. Uh, yes, is it clear that planning means that we look forward? Yeah. Okay, so somebody is asking a question. So this Siddharth is asking. Some people are not really conscious about what they are going to become in future. That is, they don't have a goal. Then how are they supposed to plan? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so very good. I'll address this question right now. See, actually, it is important for us to have a goal. It is like this. I told you, know that we need to know where we are going. If we don't have an ultimate goal, no problem. We may not have a long-term goal. Say we may not have a goal for after 10 years what I'm going to do. We may not have such a long-term goal. We need not have also, because many times life takes turns. Life takes turns in its own way. We may not get to where we want to be, and we may also become successful in something which we don't didn't want to be. It could be possible. Okay, so it doesn't. We don't have to worry too much about too many long-term goals. Right now, as students, goals can be goals can be more oriented towards the next 1 or 2 years, or how much ever time is there towards the competitive exam. So your goal will be very simple, that you should maximize your marks in your competitive exam. You should get a better rank in your competitive exam. That is your goal. Okay, this is going to be a very fundamental goal in terms of your career. Okay, so this can be your goal, and now we can when this goal is clear, we can always plan how effectively I can study. So exactly, now you told that if you don't have a goal, so now what is planning? Have I answered your question? That okay, we may not know. Say for example, I didn't know. My goal was I wanted to get into IIT, and I thought mechanical engineering was my favorite subject. But then what happened? I aspired for that goal, but I ended up getting biotechnology. But later on, I changed my ways of working and I got into mechanical engineering. And then later on, when I was working in mechanical engineering, I realized that okay, even mechanical engineering is not something which I like the best. I like computer science, computation engineering. So therefore, my goals changed. So that's okay. If our goals can change, that is all right over time. But then we should definitely have a goal which we should be conscious about. Our goals can change, but not to a very large extent. Right now, our goal is that we want to get into a very good college with a good rank, with maximum marks. Okay. So have I answered your question, Siddharth? That we need to have a goal. Without a goal, we can't do. Unless we are sure about our destination, we won't be able to. We won't get to our destination at all. We'll be roaming around the city, so many places, but we'll never get to the destination. So we'll be distracted. If we don't have a goal, what happens is we'll be distracted in life. We'll not do anything. We'll be going towards various things. Okay. How do we limit distractions? Yes, I will explain. I'll explain towards the end of the class. Okay. So okay. So now Yeah. So now planning. So planning, just like I told that that goal is the destination. Plan is the process to reach the destination, or it is the route. Now, suppose as if you're going by car from your home to your IIT, so plan means the route. You open Google Maps and you see the route. So that route is called plan. So that route also has intermediate goals. There's a route like this, and there are intermediate goals along that route, intermediate milestones, landmarks. There is Phoenix Mall coming, or something like that, and you have to take a right turn there. Even Google Maps tells like that, take right here, like that. So we have a plan. Plan is like a route. We should have a clear cut route to reach our goal. So that is what plan is. Okay. So and we already foresee. It's not that on the road when you're going you decide to take right or left. No, before you start itself you have a plan. I have to go through this location. I have to take a right here. I have to cross this junction. Go over the flyover. Before you even start, you should have a plan, so that the Google Maps does it for you. It plans for you and you just follow it. But for us in life, we have to plan for our goals. In our ways, we can take help of others as well. Okay. So I'll just skip this ball throwing analogy. I think you've all understood what is planning. So I don't have to cover that ball throwing analogy. So yeah, so what it means is before the present moment arrives, one should be ready with a plan to invest it. So you should know. Okay, I'll tell you. This ball swing analogy is very simple. So if suppose you're standing in one place and we are playing a game. There are three types of balls. There is a big ball, there's a medium-sized ball, there's a small ball. Okay, and there are three buckets. You have three buckets next to you: red bucket, blue bucket, green bucket. Okay, so now the goal for you is in the next 1 minute, I will keep throwing balls very fast at you, one by one by one. I'll start throwing. Every second, one ball keeps coming to you. Okay, and they're random balls. It can be small ball, it can be big ball, it can be medium-sized ball, it can be any type of ball actually. So I'll keep throwing it towards you. And the goal is that at the end of the 1 minute, you'll be receiving 60 balls. At the end of the 1 minute, you should have segregated all the balls into uh, big ones together, small ones together, medium ones together. So then how will you do it? How will you do it? The simple thing is, yeah. Can you tell me how will you do it? If something like this is going to come, can you type in your chat box how you're going to do it? Can you type in the chat box now? What is the method by which now every second balls are going to be coming? Or you can type it in the chat box. So yeah. Okay. There are random number of balls. We don't know how many. So I may throw each second a big ball, a small ball, or there are no 20 each. Also, they're random numbers. So then, how are you going to ensure that at the end of 60 seconds, you're just collecting it, you're just receiving it, and putting it into some bucket. So now, what is the principle which you will use so that you can segregate the balls? Yes, very good. Concentration. That means we are staying focused on which ball is coming. And most fundamental thing, the first thing that you will do is very simple. That you will plan. You have a goal that you have to segregate the balls. Before that, you'll make a plan. So what is the plan that you will do is you will say that okay, you will think that okay, the biggest balls I will put into the red bucket. You will assign the big ball to the red bucket. You will assign this medium ball to the green bucket. You will assign the small ball to the blue bucket. Okay, so like that. So basically you make a plan. That means you beforehand only have planned that if I'm going to get a red ball, if I'm going to get a big ball, I will immediately put it without thinking. I don't have to think now. I just have to put it into the a red bucket because I've made a plan. So, so it's a very simple thing. So as soon as you get it, you put it in that particular bucket. So in the same way, in life throws seconds towards us. Different time keeps coming like different balls. Every moment, every second is like a ball that you're receiving, and you should know where to. You should plan beforehand that where I will put this particular second into which activity, this particular minute into which activity. You should have planned beforehand. Otherwise, what happens if you've not planned? What is going to happen? That if you've not made a plan, then you'll be confused. When I'm throwing balls at such speed towards you, one after the other, what happens? You'll get one ball. You'll not know what to do. This is a big ball. I'll put it there. So then you'll get second ball, and then you're thinking where to put the next ball. And by then the third ball comes. By then fourth ball comes, and they start hitting you and you keep dropping off balls. They start falling down. Correct. So I'm just telling you the importance of planning. That time today, after this session, you'll have 3-4 hours before you rest. Now, if you don't plan for those 3-4 hours, what you're going to do in that time, then it will be like the 3-4 hours will come towards you, and you'll just get confused. You'll use it, you'll throw it here, there into some bucket, and you'll not be segregating it, and you'll not be achieving your end result. Okay, that is the essence. But and also, yeah, as Naveen told, that we should be focused, concentration should be there, and we should know what is our goal. We should be sticking to our plan. Very good. Okay. So yes, I just told what is important to plan. So now we'll get into the practical aspects soon. Okay. Yeah, this is I just told that studying without a study plan is like driving a car blindfolded or not knowing the route. You just if you see this image, that person, he is putting the blindfold on his eyes, and he does not know the route where he is going. He just knows that I want to go somewhere, but he is not having a plan how to go. Then he ends up crashing into things, or just getting distracted or lost or confused. So that is what happens. Okay. So we should always study with a proper plan. Okay. The next is the last aspect. We saw the PPI, I said, PPI in our time management: planning, prioritizing, investing. So now we are coming to prioritizing. So what is prioritizing? So prioritizing means that we see what is most important, what is of highest priority. We give value to it. Say, suppose uh, I've repeatedly given this example that an exam is coming up now. Okay, so when your studies, some maybe in 1 week or something, you're having an exam. So now preparing for that exam becomes the highest value task for you. You can value it. Say, if you have to value your tasks, you can give values like you saw those balls, no, in that team A team B game. So there are different values which they had, 7 8. Say suppose seeing Facebook or seeing Instagram, you can give the activity, that particular activity, a value of say 1 or zero point 0.5. And studying, you can give a value of studying physics for this particular exam. You can give a value of say 500 or 600. You're getting, no? So each thing has its value. There is an importance associated with it. Because why? If I invest my time in this particular thing, at the end of some time, what will happen is I will gain rewards back. That much amount of value I will get back. If I invest this time in studying physics, at the end of it, I may get a huge reward. But if I invest time in seeing Facebook or doing something, so we should always have in our mind that how much value is this particular task having. Okay, so and we should rank them, whichever is of high value, we should do that first. That is what prioritizing means, that whatever is high value, it's not that first, okay, we think that okay, I have to study physics or maths or chemistry, whatever it is. So I have to study this for 3 hours, but then what I will do, I will not prioritize. I will end up putting it to the end of the day. Morning I will talk to my friends, or I'll watch TV, some program is coming. I will do all this, and at the end of the day, 6 to 9, I will study for 3 hours for this subject. So that is not prioritizing. Prioritizing means what is of the highest value, that you do it first. So that is exactly what that team B did. They saw the highest value thing and they picked it first. Actually, they picked up the highest value balls out. So then that is why in the end they became the winners. Okay, so like that. So prioritizing means doing the important thing first. So that is what is written here. The essence of self-discipline is to do the important thing rather than the urgent thing. So we'll just discuss what this urgent and important is. Our tasks can be broadly classified into two types of tasks. One is called urgent task, other is called important task, broadly. So now we'll look at something called time management matrix. We'll see. I'll give you examples of this. Okay. So yeah. So what is an urgent task? Usually, urgent things are something which our mind impels us to do right now. Okay. Naveen was asking, can you show the slide again, sir? Previous slide. I'm sorry, I missed your comment. Is it the previous slide which you are asking, Naveen? Okay. Slide again, sir. The ball slide. Uh, you mean this slide, the ball game? Yes. Okay. Yeah, you can see team A, team B. You see the numbers on the So you can see team A is very sad and frustrated because they didn't win. Their timer of 10 seconds got over. They didn't win and they just got a score of 96. So yeah, you can see below also at the bottom of the team B is very happy because they prioritized the most important tasks and they did that. Okay. So yeah, so you can see below that what is written: victory is equal to choose the ball with largest number and invest time in the most important activity. That is what it means. Investing time in the most important activity. That is what prioritizing means. That I do that activity first. We don't do it last. We do it first in the day. Or yeah, basically. And we put, if somebody, there are other activities which are of lesser priority, we put it to a later time. We postpone the lesser important things and we bring forward, we advance, we make the more important things right now, and we postpone the less important things. But what we usually do, we postpone the more important things and we do whatever is less important now. That is what we do, correct? No, so we should ensure that prioritizing means doing the more important things now and postponing the less value things to a later time. Okay, that is very important. We should be very conscious of this. Okay, so yeah, so moving forward, as I told, prioritizing. Okay. So in PPI, we are covering second P, prioritizing. So that means urgent things. Okay, what are urgent things? I told is urgent things are usually something which gives us some pleasure or they're fun to do. For example, watching cricket. Now, urgently, some cricket match is coming on TV. It is an urgent thing. So then, what happens? Or watching some movie. Some movie suddenly they've said some blockbuster movie is coming on TV or some serial is coming. So then it seems like a very urgent thing to do that I want to do it right now. If I miss this, then later on I will not be able to do it. But then we should ask ourselves, is this important? Many times we end up doing urgent things but not important things. We should ask ourselves, is this important? Is this activity what I'm doing important, or is it just something urgent but less important? Say suppose some friend sends a message on WhatsApp and then you start replying to that. Again he sends one reply. So it is an urgent thing because it is pressing you to act immediately. And it seems like it's fun. Correct, no? So most times we do the urgent thing and that is not prioritizing. That we are ending up wasting our time actually. Okay, so like that. And yeah, so that is urgent thing. What is important thing? Important thing means that which is difficult for us to do, but we, by doing it, we will achieve success. Important thing, and we should do that important thing first. It may not be urgent. Say right now your test is coming up in 3 weeks time, but if you start preparing from now, if you start, what do? We start preparing just 2 days or 3 days before, last minute preparation. But that is not correct. That will lead to, that time it becomes urgent. Now it is no longer, it is not urgent. You have a lot of time and it is important. It's not urgent, but it is important that if you study from now onwards, you can get good marks in that exam. But what happens? We postpone. We do less important things before. Then what happens? We end up, it becomes urgent on the day before the exam. The same task which was important before becomes urgent on the day before the exam, and we don't perform well in the exam. Correct. So okay. So now broadly, you've all understood what is urgent, what is important, and how do we prioritize. What should we prioritize first? Should we prioritize urgent thing or the important thing? Yeah, you can please type in your chat box. What is important? Which should we prioritize and do first in our day? Urgent thing or the important thing? What should we do? Can you please type in the chat box? I hope I'm audible and yeah, yeah, the important thing. Okay. Yes, important thing. Yes. Okay. So now I'll show you the time management matrix, and after this, we'll make it more interactive. I will just tell you. So this is called a time management matrix. Okay. I hope it's visible to everyone. Yeah, very good. Everyone's saying important, not the urgent thing. So now, as I told, there's urgent and important, these two things. Now, we can categorize all our tasks into this time management matrix. You can see there are 4 quadrants. Okay. In the top part, you can see top left, there is urgent task and important task. Okay. The task, whatever you're having, is both urgent and important. Okay. And there is this second, you can see quadrant 2, which is a task, an activity which is not urgent but it is important. Okay. And third quadrant is something which is not important but urgent. Okay. And the fourth quadrant is it's something which is not urgent and not important. Okay, so these are four quadrants we'll discuss briefly, and I'll give you examples in each of these quadrants. Okay, now let us come to quadrant number one, first quadrant, which is urgent and important. Now tasks, for example, say now an exam is coming up. Tomorrow is a deadline. You have to submit your DPP, something, some daily practice problems will be checked or something like that. So then what happens? it is it is important also because there is a lot of value associated with it, and also it is urgent because you have to do it right now. If you do it tomorrow, what is going to happen? You'll not get marks. It is both urgent and important. Correct. On the other hand, I'll give you one example for each of these, then I'll ask you to categorize tasks in each of these quadrants. Okay, the second is called not urgent and important. Quadrant number two. That means right now I am not being pressed to perform that particular activity, but it is important for me to do it. Say I gave you an example that a test is coming up 1 month later. That is an important task. It's not urgent right now. It is not going to press you that you have to sit 10 hours a day and complete syllabus. No, you can even study 3-4 hours a day, and you can complete slowly. You can complete, but it is important. That is not urgent but important. So that is the quadrant two. Okay. Quadrant three is urgent plus not important. So urgent plus not important means what? That these are called frivolous activities or useless activities or distractions. This quadrant is called quadrant of distractions. That means they appear very urgent, that you have to do something. I gave you examples. I told you that cricket match is coming, some movie is coming. It appears urgent, but it is not important. It does not add value to our life. So that is quadrant number three, urgent but not important, or some friend messaging something, or you can see all those examples which are given there. Mobile games. Some mobile games nowadays they are giving different kinds of offers and all that. If you today if you play this much, or you subscribe to this, you will get this much. So it seems very urgent, but it is not important for us. Ultimately, we end up wasting our time. Okay, so urgent, not important. Then not urgent and not important. So that is like this called quadrant of waste. That means it is in no way useful for us. Like if we suppose we I used to do this. Like sometimes after exams, we can definitely take a break. It's not wrong to take a break, but I used to very sincerely plan, not for studying, but to complete certain number of movies, or certain number of episodes of some serial. Like that, I used to plan that I have to complete these many movies in this much time. So that planning is for what kind of activity? It is for something not urgent and not important also. You're planning for something which is not urgent and not important also. In my holidays, I used to sit and do that. Because friends used to say, "Hey, you watch this, you watch that. Did you do this?" So then we start feeling, oh, they have watched. I have to catch up with them to do something. So then what happens? We start planning for something which is not urgent, not important. Like here they've given examples: unnecessary net surfing. You're simply seeing some news, some Bollywood actors, something this that. Definitely you can see news, but not just keep wasting time surfing around the net, doing just out of curiosity searching some things. Long hours movie show, long time wasting phone calls, cricket at night, time wasters, so all these things. It's called quadrant of waste. So our activities we can see. Every activity that I do, we should ask ourselves: is this important, or is it urgent, not important? You can categorize it into one of these four things. Is it urgent and important? That means it's crisis. That means you have to do it. So okay, I'll go to the next slide. Okay, can you now give me a few examples? I have given you many examples of each of these. Now can you give me a few more examples for say urgent, important and not urgent? Can you give me a few examples where it is important but not urgent? This is a very important quadrant. The quadrant number two, which you see top right, is the it's called quadrant of success. Why is because all successful people invest their time in quadrant number two. Those who have achieved success in the past, they have invested their time in not in quadrant number three or four, but in quadrant number two. Most of their activities are in quadrant number two, and sometimes in quadrant number 1 because it's important, and it also becomes urgent sometimes. So quadrant number 2 means we have planned well ahead. That for 1 month time I have made a good plan and I'm sticking to my plan, completing my syllabus portions. Although it is 1 month later, it is an important task, but I am planning now and I am doing it now. So that is called quadrant of success. Okay. So there's quadrant of success, and the first quadrant is called quadrant of crisis. Uh, Quadrant of crisis. That means you cannot do anything about it. Like you have to do it. You can't plan about it. You can't. It's just pressing you. You can't think that you can't plan for a later time. You should do it now, right now. Okay. So that becomes the highest priority. So I'll explain. When we are prioritizing our tasks like that, we should do it. Okay? So yeah, would you like to give some examples for not urgent and important activities? Yeah, please think, and you can put it in the chat box. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Can you give examples for not urgent and but very important activities for us? So can you give few examples? No problem, even if it's similar to whatever I've given, but you please identify in your life what you feel is not urgent and important. Uh, can you please give? I'll give you 1 minute. Yeah, so I would suggest that quadrant 4 should be given whenever we have goals in our life. Quadrant 4 should be given minimum amount of time after we complete quadrant 1, 2, and 3. Okay, see, it's in the same sequence. Whenever activities are in quadrant 1, that means you should prioritize it first. Okay. Whenever activities are in quadrant 2, see, quadrant 1, we can't do anything about it. We'll always have pressing tasks. Tomorrow exam is there. Today I have to study only. It's forcing us. If you don't do it, then we'll end up getting bad marks and bad results. So now that we have to do, we have to be very sincere to, there's no question of putting it to a later time. You have to do it right now. So that becomes first priority. You should give it maximum value. If you're valuing it, you're giving numbers to these tasks, you have to give it maximum value of say 80 or 90 or something like that. And or if you're dividing all your tasks 100 marks, if you're dividing 100 points for all your tasks, you should give it maybe 70 marks depending on how important and urgent that activity is, 70 or 80. Then you can go to the next important activity. So you can give the remaining say 20 marks for the quadrant number 2 activities, for which are for long term. You start planning, so which are important but not urgent. So quadrant 2 you give 20%. Then quadrant 3 maybe you can give once you've finished quadrant 1, quadrant 2, then you give time for quadrant 3, quadrant 4. But you should never plan for quadrant 3, quadrant 4 activities. That means okay, you should plan, but at the end of the day or at the end of your completion of your goals in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, whatever short term goals you have set in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, once you finish that, you can go for quadrant 3 and 4, but not before that. Then it will become a problem. If you plan before that, then it's not good. Definitely we can have time for phone calls, SMSs, WhatsApp. Sometimes there are important phone calls like asking a friend for some answers, or calling up a teacher and asking, or mailing a teacher. So that becomes an important activity. It may be urgent also sometimes. Okay, but just for wasting time, it should never be done. Okay, so towards the end of the day, or towards a later time when you're taking a break, you can put a fixed amount of time. Say, I would suggest that you should not take a break which in a way that it distracts you. Yeah, Dhruv is asking a question.
Yeah, thanks for the explanation. But due to this situation, due to
Yeah,
this pandemic, we have
yeah,
more time.
yeah,
So
correct.
so like quadrant one is not there for most of much
Yeah, correct,
people.
correct. Current one is not there. Yes, exactly. Yeah, not much. Yes.
So, so the time will increase.
Yeah, so we have a lot of time. So where to invest? You're asking, correct? So
Yeah,
then you have to maximize your investment in quadrant 2. So that means you look into the future as to what are important for you now, and you give majority of the time for quadrant 2. Say right now you're in which class right now, Dhruv?
11th. I mean, entering to 11th.
Okay, you're entering into 11th. Okay. So right now, you may not have much pressing things coming up. So what you can do is, I think previously also it was asked that how much time should we give for studies. So
Yeah,
right now, studying will become quadrant 2 activity. It is important. and you should be meeting your goals of that your teachers are setting. That means you're completing. You should be at par, in pace with your teacher, simultaneously doing some extra problems, whatever they recommend to you, and whatever is expected of you. So they will be your short-term goals right now. Okay, and you should be fulfilling them, and that is they all come in important category. Okay, so
So,
the
like, if we study for 6 hours, then the quadrant 2 is over.
Yeah,
With
quadrant 2 is over. Then you can maybe spend time in quadrant 3 and 4, doing few things which will not just yeah, so which will not just waste time, but it should be something productive. Maybe you can read some books which are helpful, which can give you a break, like some nice books which can be entertainment also. Reading is a very good habit. Reading also comes in quadrant 2, but it's enjoyable. It's important. Reading is a good habit, not your curriculum related. You can definitely watch TV news. You can definitely see some movie once in a while. All that is okay, but not uh, enjoying everything at once. Today you're getting, no? So yeah, so I would suggest, yeah, you said what would be appropriate time for studies. What I would suggest is, like, for me, it was a very simple formula given by my teachers. And if one sincerely sticks to this daily without fail, fulfilling their goals, it is very simple. They just told if you spend off your classes, that means off your coaching and off your school, if you're able to spend 1 hour a day on for each subject, that is sufficient. Actually, you just complete the work whatever has been told right now, or in the last few days to you. You keep sticking to that, keep understanding the topics and practicing problems, doing a little extra. That much is sufficient. We don't have to sit for 6 hours, 10 hours. It may not be required right now, at least in this phase where you have sufficient time till your exam. It may not be required. Just sincerely, very strictly sincerely, with full focus, study for at least 1 to 1.5 hours maximum. And it should be not just the time. I'm saying you should accomplish your goals also. That means you're planning, but if you're not accomplishing, you sit 1.5 hours in front of your book. It's not going to help. You should fulfill your goals of finishing those many number of questions, or those many exercises, or those many um, chapters of theory which you want to read. All that has to be completed, or that particular section you're getting. No? The goal has to be fulfilled. Till you achieve that goal, you do it. Okay, that's important.
okay, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. Yeah. So I'll just quickly now, maybe in another 3-4 minutes, I'll be completing this. I've explained to you the major aspects of time management, planning, prioritizing. I'll just show you one example and we'll end it in another maybe about 5 minutes or so. So yeah. So I've explained that the first quadrant on the top left is called quadrant of crisis, urgent and important. Then not urgent and um, uh, important, quadrant of success, quadrant of distractions, and quadrant of waste. So these are 4 quadrants, and I've told you how do we prioritize. That means which one should we do first. So whichever is in quadrant 1, we should do it first. Whichever is in quadrant 2, we should do it next, and we should give sufficient amount of time for that also in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, like that. Okay. So yeah. So now I'm just concluding. So how do we become productive? I would say that whatever we have covered today is extremely important for each of you, especially given there's a lot of time. I would say you should set goals, and tomorrow's session will be even more important. Today I've just covered practical steps. Tomorrow I'll be getting into the attitudes. The title for tomorrow's session itself is the secret to time management, cultivating the winner attitudes. That is the title. So the time management tips, whatever tips and practical things what I've told you right now, this everybody knows. Many people in the world know about all these things. But in order to fulfill these effectively, we need to have certain internal attitudes and certain internal qualities, which are important for us to actually be effectively focused, determined. So they're called success attitudes or winner attitudes. So that is what we'll be covering tomorrow, and it will be a important session. I request all of you who have attended today, definitely do come for the tomorrow's session, because you will face challenges. All of us face challenges. Even I, when I came to know, when I read all these about these in many books, what happened was I thought, okay, time management is easy. It's not much. I can just do it. But when I started applying some of these things, I realized that I was getting so distracted. I'm not able to reach my goals. why is this happening? Then there's a certain transformation required internally to develop the discipline, to develop the focus, and to like the things that you're doing. Many times we don't like studying, but we have to like doing what we want. So certain internal change of attitudes are required. So that we'll be covering tomorrow. Okay. But however, today's session, I'm concluding with a few summary of the whole of today's session, and that's there in the slide. After this, we'll end, and I'll take few questions. Whatever questions were asked, I think previously, that how many hours, how to do smart work, then uh, yeah, Vastavanujan asked that what if we have become inconsistent and what to do. I'll answer these briefly today, and tomorrow's session it will get covered very nicely actually. Okay, so so I'll just conclude. So few things which I would request each of you do it. Okay. So first thing is that make a small diary or a small notebook or something like that which you can carry with you all day. Okay, I would recommend that. Keep a notebook and pen, and also have a watch or at least your mobile or something by which you can always keep track of time. You always have you have to become conscious of time basically. Okay? So then second thing is that make a to-do list on the previous night itself. Say for example, uh, quite often we in the beginning stages this task is seems very difficult for us. When we try to make a to-do list, it strains our mind to think into the future and plan that, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. It becomes difficult actually. But if we can do it, if we start making it a habit, it becomes easy. For me right now, because it became a habit, every day at the end before going to bed, what I do is I just take out 2-3 minutes and I can list down 15 tasks at a stretch, what I want to do next day. And you should also include tasks which are not just related to your studies, but also with regards to other things. Like, say, I will show you an example at the end of this. I will show you, and maybe 2 minutes I will tell you. Okay, so okay, then how do we not get distracted? How do we stay focused? See, one of the simple things is that we should reduce the use of gadgets. See, unless it is necessary. A simple thing which I would do is that I would not keep my phone or laptop near me. I always keep it in my parents' room, or I keep it away, and I ask them to keep a lock for it or something like that. So then what happens is that whenever you're going to use it, you're consciously using it. You're not unconsciously using it. But when you keep it with you, no, you unconsciously keep using it. Something comes here, something comes there, some notification comes. So better is keep it away, and that is one very effective thing. Keep your figures away, and then if you make a plan, then you'll use your day very nicely, and at the end of the day, you'll be very happy. So first of all, we need to make a to-do list. Otherwise, we'll sit in front of our study table, and we don't know what to do. Something, whatever I like, I end up doing. I may like physics, so I may end up doing physics. I leave chemistry because I don't like chemistry. So it should not be like that. We should balance. We should give sufficient time for each of them, whether we like it or not. Mostly whatever we like is something which is easy to do, but whatever we don't like becomes what is important many times. Okay, so that's what it's very important for us to understand. Okay, next is sleep early. This is something which I would tell because I will tell you my experience, and I've seen so many other students. The experience is that quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, the distractions and the wasteful activities increase in the night time. The more you delay your sleep, you go beyond 8:30, 9:30, 10, 10:30. You will see that you will be doing only quadrant 3, quadrant 4 activities at that time. It is highly unlikely that you'll be doing quadrant 1 and quadrant 2 activities that time. Some people have the habit of sleeping in the afternoon and studying late night, but I don't recommend that because the time is such that it is easy to get distracted. Right? It is difficult to stay focused. But morning times, in the daytime, it's easy to stay focused, and we should do that. Okay? So then follow a schedule for the day. That means you make a daily routine. That means waking up at say 5:30, 6 in the morning. Ensure that you do that every day. Schedule and keep your put a time. I will show you. I'll give you an example when I do it. Okay, make a schedule. Then lastly, I'm saying find good friends. Okay, so finding good friends is very important because if you keep friends who spend time in quadrant 3, quadrant 4, you will also end up spending time in quadrant 3, quadrant 4. If you keep friends who spend time more in quadrant 2, where it's quadrant of success, then you will also be inspired to do the same thing. Association, it's very simple. That there's a very famous saying which says that you tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. That means we usually our sum total of our behavior, our goals, our aspirations, our activities are usually a sum total of five people which whom we closely have friendship or interact with. That is what it is. So we take up many things from them, many bad qualities, many um, negative things from others very easily. We should be careful to choose who our friends are. Choose the right kind of association. Association means friendship. To whom you want to keep friends, and is very important. Okay, so yeah, that's all. So tomorrow we'll be covering these. I already explained winner attitudes to overcome. Many times we end up postponing things. Why do we do that, and how do we cultivate the winner attitudes to stay focused and to not postpone things and to do it with a lot of discipline, and we'll see success coming our way very soon. Okay? So yeah, we'll be seeing how we can become an all-rounder. Secret to time management, becoming an all-rounder, secret to strong determination, focus. All these things we'll cover tomorrow. Okay. So before I end, I'll just show you a small example uh, of how we can plan our day. I'll just quickly show you in about 2 minutes. So I will share screen and I will show you. So yeah, just 1 minute. Just about 2 minutes, I'll just show you how do we plan our day. So that if you can practically see how I do it, then you'll also find it easy to do it. So yes, so I'll share screen now. Yeah. So I think you all must be able to see this Word document. So a day plan, very simple. I just how do I plan my day? I will show you. Okay. Yeah. Say okay. So I'll just tell you. So now while planning for the day, I do it on the previous night. See, one few things are always common. So few things we do every day. Like say for example, taking bath, getting ready, and eating our breakfast, lunch, dinner, or reading newspaper, something like that. So few things are quite natural. They go into a task list, to-do list, almost immediately. Like say for example, all these things. Say you have say eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, eating lunch, and see, whenever you're making a first thing you have to do is make a list of tasks. Don't think which is important, which is not important. Just make a list of tasks. Say, I have to completing physics 20 questions. Okay. Then calling friend and discussing answers. Practically all the tasks, whatever you are going to do, you should make a list of it. As many tasks as possible, at least initially. Where slowly, what happens is when you get a habit of planning, no, you don't have to write it on the paper. Slowly, your planning will shift to your mind, and you'll be able to plan everything in your mind itself. But in initial phases, you should try to plan on paper. Keep a notebook and plan. Or say going out and purchasing uh, say some books, and you even plan for 3 and 4, quadrant 3 and 4. Say taking a break and checking mails and Facebook. So like this, and then what else is there? Then many tasks like this. You can say watching small movie, something like that. So all these you have. So now you have listed down. This is called a to-do list. Yeah, playing games. Very good. Yeah, going for outdoor or indoor. Right now, I don't think outdoor works out so well. Outdoor slash indoor game. I would say you can avoid playing games on gadgets. You can minimize it because they become very addictive. So please avoid that. So this is basically how we make a to-do list. Okay. So now this is the first step. This is the first key. Okay. So all of you must. Okay. Something is wrong. 1 minute. Yeah. sorry. This is the first P. Okay, this is called planning. So second P is to actually prioritize. That means, so in prioritizing, what you have to do is um, you need to realign all these things. Now, see, now you assign amount of time here. How much time it will take? Eating breakfast takes 20 minutes. Uh, Eating lunch takes. See, in the beginning of the day, how many hours? Say 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. you have. Okay, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Or say you want to study, say till 8 p.m. you have. Now, in how many hours is that? About 11, 13 hours, correct? So you have 13 hours of time with you. It's like a lot of resource. Now, this 13 hours, how you have to invest is, I will give you usual split up. Usually, you should split it up like this. Maybe around 8 hours of hard work and about 5 hours of break. I'm saying hard work means something which is important. Oh, you're not able to hear? Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So 8 hours of hard work and 5 hours of break, and these should be alternating actually. You should alternate hard work and break. So what does hard work mean? Hard work doesn't always mean doing studies. Hard work means doing the okay. Yeah. So hard work means doing the important things. That is what hard work means. Hard work, simple definition, is doing important things and not doing wasteful things. Okay. So alternate between hard work and break. Okay. It's very simple. See, I'll tell you. So how I would plan is, so you should prioritize. So how I would prioritize is assign time. You have about 13 hours. Assign time. It's 20 minutes for lunch. Then completing approximately, you plan 20 questions. Maybe it takes 5 minutes for each question if they're mains type or something like that. So it takes about 100 minutes. So about 1.5 hours, something like that. You should plan. So then you sum up all these things, and it should come up to the important tasks in this. Now, then you prioritize. Like say, first you put prioritizing means making the important thing first. So you should put completing physics first. Okay? Or you can give numbers also. What I usually do is I give numbers like this. This will be my first activity you have to do. Eating dinner, lunch, breakfast, they all happen at a particular time. You can't postpone it. You can't do anything. Say calling friend can be given. Going out to purchase books can be given second because it may be not urgent but important. Then calling friend and discussing answers, we can give it third. It depends now what kind of. So this is third priority. So like that you can assign. So you make a task, then you put amount of time it takes, and you assign a priority order which you want to do first in the day. So usually my day schedule ends up like this. I'll tell you. See, I wake up quite early, maybe around 5:30, 6, 5 o'clock like that. So usually I do some meditation in the morning and all that. So maybe for about 2 hours till 7, getting ready and all that. So I have 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I check um, my once I check in the morning all my mails and all that, and I have breakfast. Then I also check some news. I check my mail so that for today, if I have to do something important, some meeting, some professor, something has been told, and I check all that. Then usually 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., 12 p.m. I usually give it a solid uh, hard work time. That means I study or I do very important work. And then I take in even 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Every hour I take about 10 minutes break. I split it. I do 50 minutes of studies and I take about 10 minutes break. In the break time, I just walk around. I do something like that. I don't indulge in any distractions usually. And 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Usually I take 2 or 3 maybe. 2 p.m. because I feel a little sleepy. I may take some rest for 1 hour. Then I go for lunch, rest. Then I again check mails, check my Facebook or anything, and see if something is there. I take a break around that, and then again from 4 p.m., 3:30 or something like that, I start studying again for an evening slot, 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And even in this, I take 1 hour, 50 minutes, 10 minutes like that. Hard work break, alternate hard work break. And break time, we should be very using it efficiently. I read some, whenever I take break, I read something which is interesting about some great personalities, some wisdom books like that. All that. Reading is a very good habit. So like that, I've given an overview. Then finally at 9:30, I rest. Then again, I take a 1 hour break for dinner and all those things. Then again, So basically you can see my whole day is divided into three sections, three or four solid hard work sections, break sections, and in between hard work sections, small break sections, so like that. Okay, so that's how we should do it. So this is how we do our planning, and we manage our time efficiently. If you have questions, actually, since it's got quite late now, what we can do is tomorrow I would request all of you to come. I'll just enter a link here. You can please fill up this feedback form. Okay, I'm just entering a link here. Just 1 minute. Let's stop sharing screen and please hold on. I'm just entering a link. Yeah. So please give your feedback here after your session. I'm putting it in the chat box. Okay. So all of you, whoever has attended, please give your feedback and also your questions. If you have questions, you can kindly enter it here. We'll tomorrow. The first thing I'll do is we'll address the questions. We'll answer your questions, and even some of the questions which you've asked today, we'll do that. So please enter your feedback here. It's a Google form. Okay, you can enter your feedback, and we'll take questions. If you like this session, you can say I liked it. It was helpful for me, or if you need more clarification, you can definitely address tomorrow. So is that okay?